My spidey senses are tingling. Talked about this on Twitter. We've just seen the Solana ecosystem completely explode. That sector is actually booming. But when I feel my spidey senses tingle, I look for what's coming up next. You guys don't want to get in when it's already pumped. You want to get in before. So I'm looking at DeFi right now, and I'm going to give you today my top 8 DeFi picks for this cycle. Before I get into my DeFi picks, don't forget to watch all of them, because if you miss the one that actually moons the hardest, you're going to be feeling pretty sad, and you only need a little bit of your time to share them with you. So let's jump right in. The first pick that I'm looking at is RSR. Now, why RSR? They have a booming ecosystem. They are used in many countries in South America, and this is the first cycle they've actually had all the tokens vested and everything out on the market. And as you guys know, without inflation, this has no sell pressure, and everyone that wanted to sell, if we look at this chart, has already done so. It's pretty much done. So where was this before? Where is it going? Well, it was all the way down to 0.016 cents. And if I show you this right now, this price to get back to all-time high is about a 76x. This is a huge opportunity. So from right here, I'm gonna look at where are we going next? Well, right now we're looking for, what do we call that again? Oh yeah, a boner candle. As you can see, it's holding down right now just under 0.0035 cents. So we're watching that level. And when we break that level, we're gonna go up higher to 0.005. But not just the TA on the chart. RSR is an actual currency that is used in South America. And if you guys have been paying attention to the massive amounts of inflation in places like Argentina, you know that this is a huge opportunity for growth. Now in Argentina, most people are holding Bitcoin, but this is a way for them to spend their capital easier. So I believe RSR is going to have a huge run this cycle. It's only about 2x from the bottom, and this has barely even started. And DeFi has barely even started to move yet. So this is one of the picks that I think has a huge amount of appreciation. Even if it only gets to this level, it will already be a 500 to 600% gain. So great opportunities for you to look at right now before it starts to move. Those of you who have not been following me for a while, I'm gonna share a list that I shared in January of last year. So which projects did I talk about in the past? I talked about RSR, I talked about FXS, Comp, and aave. So those are the major ones. Yield app as well, because it's the only yielding platform that actually did not blow up. And I know the founder, Tim, very well, and these guys have been working on a ton of new products, so that's why I like them as well. But we're not gonna go over them today. I'm just gonna tell you guys what is new and what is actually still there. So RSR, as you can see, is still there. What's next? Here's a new one for you, Coty. Now, Coty just came out with a privacy blockchain layer 2. So this is not just a DeFi play, actually a privacy play and a layer 2 blockchain play. Now, as you can see, this from the very bottom is only appreciated about 100%. So it's kind of lagging the rest of the market, where most things are up from the bottom over 200-300%. So I'm looking into DeFi now going, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for growth. So what I see happening next is that Coty likely is going to push towards 170, 180% gain from here as a first real push, but could go much, much higher, especially this cycle having a layer 2 blockchain, which is privacy for financial transactions. They're a really good opportunity for all of us to look at and potentially get into, but you guys have to do your own research and learn a little bit more first. Next up, one of the ones that was on the list before is FXS. This project I got into at 18 cents. Yeah, 18 cents. You're like, wait, but wasn't the bottom only like $4? Yeah, that's correct. It was only $4. Actually went to $3 or so. What happened? Well, these guys have a strong team. They literally have all their tokens out. This project has continually performed. Even in the bear market, it didn't even get close to its private sale prices. Now, they've been building an ecosystem which has an algorithmic stablecoin and has a bunch of DeFi plays to get yield. They're legit, they're real, and even right now, from the very, very bottom, they're just up over 100%. That tells me that this is one to keep looking at for sure, and it's not showing on this specific chart because it's the Binance chart, but this went up to $50 last cycle. And so even at $9.55 as a new project without any vesting anymore, this could go much higher. And with the team they have, it's something that I've been looking at and investing into for a long time. And no, I did not hold any of the 18 cents tokens because it went to $50 and it would have been insane to hold them. So I did sell off, waiting for the market to come back down, and bought back in. As I tell you always, if you're up a lot, sell it and then get back in lower so you get more tokens, which is exactly what I've done. So it goes back to $50, great for all of us. So Comp is another one. Now, this one is an interesting play. Why? Because they've had issues with getting hacked last cycle. They had this happen. They're still around. And when a project goes through hacks, as we saw with Paid, they can come back very, very strong if they do the right thing. Comp is a platform, and all DeFi has a little bit of this there where things can happen and they're not in your control, and sometimes not even in the project's control, because they can have 100 audits and that one guy try one thing and it get hacked. So they've had all the things bad that could happen to them, in my opinion, already, and now they're a stronger and stronger platform for it. So that just to get out of the way. We're also looking, again, as you guys know, for a boner candle here. So we're trying to break out that $68 level. Now, when we break out that level, we have a lot of space to grow. And what I mean by that is the top of the market last cycle is 15x away. And the most important part is it's very liquid coins I'm sharing with you. What liquid coins means is there's a lot of money in them. So if you make 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, and you sell all of that at once, you're not even gonna be able to push the price down. This is a huge opportunity if you have a lot of liquidity, and also a great opportunity if you don't, because DeFi is something that you can make money on with this token on top of just holding it. Next up is one that pretty much most of the people and OGs that I know are using, and that is Aave. Now, Aave is not just on Ethereum anymore. Most of these are going multi-chain and probably will end up on Solana and things like that in the future. So we should keep our eyes on that, especially because liquidity is already there, and for it to move on to another chain will not be very big of a deal. So we also have multi-chain aggregators and things like that, so it wouldn't be hard to go from one to the other if you wanted to swap later in the future. So these are things that we should also keep in mind. Now, Aave has started to go. I was talking about this way down here at 50 bucks. I bought it actually at 3 different times. One of them was right as the SEC was kind of flooding the whole entire crypto market, and another one was when it came back to that level in the 50s. I didn't buy exactly on the level each time, but I bought really close to the actual level. So you don't have to be right all the time on your first buy. It's better to buy in a little bit and buy in and buy in and buy in, because you're never gonna know exactly the right price. So if we go back to that list, you can see my first comp buy was 34, my first Aave buy was 56. So was I exactly right? No. But when it went lower, did I buy again? Absolutely. That is why we put levels on the chart, and that is why we dollar cost average in, because my buy price is now lower and it's not exactly on the low, but that's what you need to understand. You're never gonna get all your buys on the low, so you always DCA so you can get the mean of the buys. So the opportunity cost right now is that Aave is just over 100%. And where could it go next? Well, it's breaking out of a boner candle level, which is great. We love these. Don't you guys love boners? I love them. And especially in the morning. But you know, let's look at here. And we have a 460% possible gain still. So great opportunity. But is Aave gonna go higher this cycle? Very likely, in my opinion, everything will go higher in the next cycle as long as people are still utilizing it. So we've seen Bitcoin. Everyone thought Bitcoin will never make new highs, always does. So as we see new money come in, right now the market is not even at $2 trillion. Remember this, the ESG market, right? That's basically all of the carbon credits, etc., is $40 trillion. If we get to $40 trillion, every major cryptocurrency will go much, much higher than the last cycle. So you have to kind of plan ahead, be patient, and let that appreciation happen. And on the way of that appreciation going next level, take a little bit of profit, take a little bit more profit, take a little bit more profit. Here's another one, Convex Finance. Convex is also another DeFi play, similar to Aave, similar to Comp. Now, this project, I believe it hit about $50. It hit $54 or something like that right after it listed on Binance. And ever since then, it dropped all the way down to $2. So it had a huge 90+% drop off. And even from the bottom, currently, it is only up 49%. Why is that important? Well, it's as simple as this. It can go up to that all-time high level again, and we're looking at almost a 20x possibility. Again, this is one that's a little bit lower in market cap, so there's less liquidity. So if you're thinking about building a DeFi portfolio, you may want to put a lot of money into the higher liquidity pays if you have a lot of money. And if you don't have a ton, that's okay too. These will still grow as well. You can look at that as an opportunity, but remember, if your stacks get really big, you may want to shift into higher liquid coins so that you can actually sell them. So really good opportunity here. And I think with the low market cap compared to aave and compared to Convex is one of those ones to keep your eyes on, because OGs are the ones who signaled me on this last cycle, and I believe those OGs are still going to be in this one this cycle. Okay, so next up is synthetics. Synthetics is basically what it sounds like. It's synthetic assets. So you can trade things like gold, things like Apple, things like basic stocks and commodities. And you can do that on chain. So you don't have to go off and like learn how to use international brokers if you're comfortable with different platforms. This lets you do it automatically and very easily across all the different assets that are available. Now, it went down to $1.40 in the bear market, and it's only right now at about $4. Last cycle it hit about 29, and it hit it early. It was in February of 2021 when it hit that, and then after that it dropped off super hard, came back after we had a little bit of a recovery when Bitcoin hit its new all-time high, but kind of was on a downtrend ever since then, leveled off, and now we're seeing it's kind of in a range where if it goes a little bit higher, there's not much stopping it from going all the way up to 12 bucks. I think this could easily 3x. It could definitely go to 50, 60, 70, $80 because people love trading crypto and diversifying their crypto, but if you can stay in crypto as well as diversify, that's an even bigger opportunity for you. So that's why I believe you should be looking at synthetics as an opportunity where we could, from this price right now, we could be doing a 500-600%, but I believe it's still got a 10x at least in it. So that's the second last one. This other one is one that I've been in since last cycle. They had a hack in the bear market, but that didn't really stop them, and that is Alliance Block, which is now NXRA. It used to be ALBT. These guys are doing real world assets, RWAs on chain, similar to synthetics. We're looking at the real world asset space, and we will do a video on the real world assets specifically. But what I want you guys to understand is right now on the chart, and to new people coming in and new traders that don't know about Alliance Block, this is in price discovery. Price discovery is a great thing. And remember the tool that we use, we'll just remind you of it again, the trend-based fib exchange. We go from the bottom of the chart to the top of the chart, back to the bottom of the chart, and then we look at where could it go next? So it's at 18, 19 cents right now. Where could it go to next? Well, we're looking at 28 cents as the first step, but this went to $2 last cycle. So if we're looking at it from the last cycle side, this could go easily a 10x from this part, and maybe a lot higher because they're on the London Stock Exchange and it's a real company behind it. So I'm looking at this one as potentially one of those picks where people are maybe not looking at it too seriously, but you should be. So definitely do the research in this amazing team and this amazing project, because I think this is going to be one of those curveballs that people aren't really looking at that's going to send you to the moon.